Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and every year I do about 3 different What's on My iPhone videos based off requests from you. And so this is What's on My iPhone late 2019. Many of you are asking to see these videos all the time, whether that be you message me directly or email me or in comments. So here it is. And if you've seen any of my recent videos, you'll know exactly what's on my home screen. In fact, I don't change it a lot, but the way I organize things is these are organized based on what I use the most, and then the second page is organized based on things that I use but not as much. So let's take a look at some of these different apps. Now, I am using Apple's standard Mail app, Music app, Safari, and iMessage or Messages. And then I use social media apps such as Instagram and Twitter quite often, so those get their own place. I also use Gmail separately from the iOS app because I think Gmail does a better job with handling just Gmail, although I really miss the Inbox app. And then I sometimes use Tasks, although I should probably remove this because I don't use it a lot. Now, I also use Pocket Casts for all of my podcasts. Oh, there was a new update I haven't seen yet. So here's some of the podcasts I listen to. In fact, the ones I listen to the most usually are Mac related or Windows related or Android related, quite a few. And so those are the different ones I listen to. And then also I have my Tesla app, and this is actually the key to my car. So that's why this is here. I go into this quite often if I need to get in there quickly, or when you walk up to the car, it unlocks. When you just open the handle or push on the handle, it unlocks. But sometimes you need to go in the app. So that's why this is here regularly. Some people say it's a flex. It's not really. It's just the key to my car, and I need access to it quickly. Then I have the YouTube folder where I have 4 different apps. I usually use YouTube Studio and YouTube the most. And then I also have Telegram. So I have a Telegram channel now. If you haven't been following me there, you can follow me there where I post everything. And sometimes if you want to talk there, I'm there, available to talk. And then I have the Home app where I can control things like my lights, for example. So right now this is lit using just a My Home plug. If I turn the lights off, I can turn it back on, give it a second, they'll turn back on. It takes just a moment for all of them to turn back on. There we go. And then I also have some other lights here. These are the colored lights you see in the background. So when I have a photo, this controls those. So I have some for my home as well. So there's a bunch of other smart lights and things like that. And I use this app a lot, so it's on the home page. And then I have a social folder that I use sometimes. So these are apps I don't use as much. I do have a tic-toc account, but I never use it. Same with Snapchat. And then I do have Discord as well. I have a Discord server. So again, if you want to see that, that's under Zollotech. And then Reddit. I should probably use Reddit or put Reddit more over here, but these are some of the things I use occasionally. I use probably Discord and Reddit the most though. Then there's Google for Google stories and things like that. This is mostly what I use it for, is these stories here for news. And then the church folder I use, it just has a couple different things in that. And then if you want to see, there's a couple different things in there. And then Amazon, reminders, the App Store, and then just standard Apple apps that I use, but not a ton. I'll use camera a lot and weather, but that's about it. In fact, I hardly make any phone calls. So when you say the phone calls are taking up the whole screen, you should change that, or I hope Apple changes that. It doesn't really bother me because I don't really use it as a phone that much. Now, here's where I have a bunch of other apps, and some of them I can remove, but under entertainment, there's occasionally things I use. In fact, some of these, like Disney movies, doesn't really even need to be there anymore because it's not something you can really use anymore. So things like that are just in there. Photos and video. Canva, occasionally I'll use. Amazon Photos, I'll occasionally use. Pixelmator. These are things that are very helpful, like Google Photos that I do use, or Filmic Remote and Filmic Pro when I'm filming video that I just don't really have another place for, so I just put them there. Then LifeX, these again control those lights that are around with all the different colors, and that these can be turned on. The app is really buggy, but this controls all of those, so it's just what I use for that. Then food, where I only use a couple of these really, but they're there. Then finance, I've shown you that before. I'm not going to show that right now, but MoneyWiz is what I use to manage a lot of I use it kind of like a checkbook. And then under audio, I need to remove this one too. I never use it. iChill. I have a lot of apps I don't use anymore that are in here. But Audible for audiobooks, live air traffic controller. So I'm in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, and you have an observation area where you can go and watch planes land or take off. If you want to do that, or you're waiting for someone to come in, you can watch them. It's really nice, but you can also listen to the air traffic control tower using this app. So that's why I have that. So it's not used that often, but once in a while. And then I have SoundCloud, as I use SoundCloud for different types of music sometimes. Then I have the utility folder, and this is probably my most junk-filled folder. And I don't mean that the apps are junk. It's just things that are in here that I use, but not a lot. So occasionally I'll need speed test to do a speed test, or Eero to manage my network utility or my network situation at my home. That's where I keep all of these. There's a ton of apps in here like Google Home, Google Authenticator, WhatsApp, even though I don't really use it, iHome, things like that. These are just all in here, and there's a ton of them. Google Wi-Fi. And so I need these from time to time, but I don't want them cluttering up my screen. So I put them in here, and what I actually do to find my apps is normally I just search for them and then hit the app. I don't normally just scroll through apps. I just search for it and there they are. Then here's for camera, Nest and Blink, different security cameras, charging. These are for local charge stations. While I don't use this a whole lot, I do have a Tesla, so if I need them for any reason, they're here and I can find charging stations. And then in this folder, this is where I keep the Apple apps. So you'll see all the different Apple apps in here, and a couple others, but mostly just Apple apps. Everlance tracks distance, so if you want to keep track of your distance and where you're going, so you can use that information, keeps track of that. I have a news folder that I don't use too much, but it has Google News, Apple News, Pocket, and Heartfeed in it. Heartfeed is probably the one I use the most, where I can customize which feeds I want to see. So things like Mac Rumors, 9 to 5 Mac, iMore, things like that you would expect someone that looks at information or puts out information like I do to have. Google Maps, Geekbench 5, of course, to do all of the different benchmarks that we do on this channel, or that I do on this channel. T-Mobile Tuesday, Google Calendar, Find My, Food Noms I just installed, but I haven't used it that much. And this is a shortcut. Maybe I'll share that one later. And then the Clips app, I need to put these back in the utility folder. I had these out for a video when they updated Clips not too long ago. So on another note, I really dislike how Apple changed this to have to tap and hold and then move things. It was much easier before. Again, utility feedback. There we go. And then I do have one more here. This is Personal Capital. I just installed it. I haven't even opened the app other than the home screen. Haven't signed in or anything, but it's just something I saw and thought I'd look at. So that's it for all of my apps. I think that'll give you a good idea of what I have. I do change them from time to time, but not too much here. I probably will change the tasks one, but I'm not sure yet. I've tried everything from things to all sorts of other apps. But let me know what you think in the comments below. If there's any apps you would suggest or things that might make my life a little bit easier, I'd really appreciate that. Or if you have some great games you like to play and you want to just share it with other people, please leave that in the comments below also. Of course, I'll link this wallpaper in the description as I always do. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.